Aquarius workshop. Transform cowardice into courage. I start with a quote from Pathwork Lecture 150 with the title Self-Liking, Condition for Universal State of Bliss. And the quote is as follows. Not looking at the pride and the cowardice prevents you from reaching this life. Therefore, each moment can be owned up to only when courage and humility exist. The courage to question the handed down codes, the courage to look at every and any truth within the self, and the humility not to have to be special and perhaps, if necessary, for the sake of truth, to dispense with approval by others. End of quote from Pathwork Lecture 150. Courage is an important tool on this path of development. Often we think that a spiritual person is soft and meek and has no courage, because courage takes strength and energy. We associate courage with aggressiveness and brutality. Nothing could be further from the truth. Courage is a divine power consisting of many elements, such as taking courageous risks by entering new situations and experimenting with new attitudes. Don't avoid pain, disappointment and frustration, but go through it and want to learn from it. Perceive objectively and see the truth in self and others. To love, even though there is no guarantee that the love will be reciprocated. Giving without wanting anything in return. And above all, it takes great courage not to be discouraged on the path. Courage is part of love, and every cell and pore of the body vibrates and resonates with this divine attitude. But when we block the divine power of courage, this power distorts into the duality of hyperactive pride and apathetic cowardice. Cowardice consists of many elements such as fear, inferiority, self-hatred, submission, laziness, wanting to remain a child, emotional dependency. It numbs the ability to feel anything. It doesn't want to feel pain either. It avoids responsibility. It does not want to give the best of itself out of resentment. It feels victimized to its own negativity and destructiveness. It blindly follows rules and laws without testing anything, etc. In this workshop, we will explore with a loving curiosity 3 fundamental themes of the Pathwork Lectures regarding the transformation of cowardice into courage. The first theme: courage and love are inseparable. The better we observe ourselves objectively, the more accurately we are able to observe other people and situations objectively. We need to become aware that, through emotional involvement, we are subjective. It already shows objectivity to realize that we are not objective. In doing so, it takes courage to observe objectively, to face the truth of others and ourselves. Loving others and ourselves despite visible mistakes is true mature love, because love is always objective. The next quote stems from Pathwork Lecture 42. If you lack courage, you do so because you love yourself too much in a sickly way. For there is the right and proper kind of self-love. Cowardice can only exist because of this self-pampering, self-pitying, self-concern. Courage ascribes to a cause, an issue, or another person as much importance as to the self. Therefore, courage and love are, in the last analysis, inseparable. End of quote from Pathwork Lecture 42. The second theme. Courage and humility are inseparable. We lack sincerity, humility and courage to challenge rules of conduct. Out of cowardice and inferiority, we blindly follow social morality to avoid conflict and gain approval. The apparent need for approval temporarily numbs the pain of the lack of self-esteem, but this pain is only the symptom. The real reason of a lack of self-love and self-respect is precisely the cowardice and blind slavish dependence with which we betray the truth of the true self in order to gain appreciation. The next quote stems from Pathwork Lecture 150. Is not cowardice, with all its compliance and conformity, its self-negation and denial of truth, its opportunism and betrayal of cosmic reality, a result of pride? Does it not require humility to dispense with the need to have the approval of others? This courage can only be attained when humility exists. You will not sell out, violate and betray your real self when you can let go of admiration of being singled out in some way. End of quote from Pathwork Lecture 150. The third and last theme. Courage and faith are inseparable. It takes courage to fight impartially for God's truth, the divine grace of full faith, and to surrender. In surrender to God we can find true safety, strength, security and independence. However, we believe the opposite. We believe that we are only safe if we keep ourselves isolated and suspicious. Only in surrender to God is our channel clean enough to distinguish truth from falsehood and see who can and who cannot be trusted. The last quote stands from Pathwork Lecture 254. You need active, positive aggression to never allow the dark forces within you to conquer you, to make you believe that it is all futile, to make you to give in to their whispering hopelessness and false surrender into your inner ears. You must stand firm and realize the power embedded in your thought processes, in your inner will, in your ability to choose faith over fear, courage over cowardice. For what requires more courage than belief in God's truth and your power to live and demonstrate it? End of quote from Pathwork Lecture 254. I wish you peace and all the best. Thank you.